Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. It seems as though Selena Quintanilla is never truly going to, or her family is never going to truly feel as though Yolanda Saldivar, the former president of her fan club who shot her to death in 1995, March 31st, 1995, to be exact, is ever going to leave their family alone. She has decided she would like to pursue possibility of parole. She's eligible in March of 2025, and according to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, she has no blemishes on her prison record, which does make her eligible to go before the parole board in March, when this is her first time that she is eligible to request the possibility of parole. Some of you may have been too young or not into it, not into Selena. I believe she would have been an amazing crossover artist. I learned about her a little bit later after her death through the movie with Jennifer Lopez. And since then, I've been very, very interested in the story, and I've watched a number of documentaries and such, and listened to interviews with the family. She was a Tejano star, I believe, that really was going to break out even further. But that was all taken away from her in the blink of an eye. She had arranged, well, Yolanda apparently was stealing money from the family. And so Yolanda wanted to, there was records that needed to be, that Selena and her family, her father, Abraham, that they needed, that she had in her possession. She agreed, she told Selena she would meet her at a motel, and this is where some sort of argument happened, and Yolanda brandished a gun, shot her in the shoulder, and Selena fled the hotel room and started to head toward the lobby for help, and that is when Yolanda shot her in the back. Sadly, she would die later that day from the loss of blood and a cardiac arrest. And this was 2 weeks before she would have been 24 years old. So Selena will forever be 23 years old. Considering that Yolanda has never taken a great responsibility, besides that she said she shot her best friend, she likes to come out there and state that there's more to the story, there's more to the story. The bottom line is she killed a young woman. She killed a bright, bright light, not only in her home of Texas. Okay, she killed a bright light that just started to shine. And the stories about how Selena was just the nicest, most down-to-earth person, it breaks your heart to know that she was a clean, down-home person with family. She loved her family. They all worked together through her singing, through the businesses. She would open the boutique. They had a studio they just opened the year prior. This was a family affair. And Yolanda broke her way into this family, became the fan club president, and became very close and trusted to Selena. And there were those around Selena that tried to warn her of these red flags that Yolanda was exhibiting. But unfortunately, Selena liked to see the best in people, and she just loved her friend. And that would unfortunately become the end of her life.
What is your location? Days Inn Motel, it's 901 Navigation Boulevard.
What's wrong, ma'am?
We have a woman ran in the lobby, said she's been shot. She's laid on the floor in his blood.
Okay, what room number? Okay. Where are you? How old is she?
She looks about 20.
Okay, who saw her? Where is it? She's in the lobby right now?
Yes, ma'am. She just passed out.
Okay. I already have to call in.
I think you need to send a police unit, too.
It'll go off for me.
Okay.
Somebody give us some information so we can get the suspect. Okay. You don't know anything else about who might have done it or anything like that?
It's another lady. That's all I know. We're trying to find out.
Annette, okay, and this lady's about 40 years old?
20.
20. Okay. Yolanda? She's a suspect? Oh, okay, ma'am. What's her last name? Thank you. 911 emergency?
We need a police officer. Someone's been shot over here at Navigation, Days Inn.
At Days Inn?
Yes.
Okay, what room number?
Huh?
What room number?
She's out here on the parking lot, 158.
Okay, who shot her?
The lady at 158 shot the lady over here.
Okay, is the lady in 158 still there?
I don't know. They shot somebody. She's taking off.
She's with a vehicle on foot.
She's in a vehicle or on foot. They don't know.
Well, we need somebody can give us some information so we can get the suspect. I've already got the ambulance and the police over there. They're en route. I need
I need a car. I need a race car.
What does she look like?
Yeah. Her name?
Yes.
Yolanda.
Yolanda? She's a suspect?
Yes, ma'am.
What's her last name?
Saldivar.
S-A-L-D.
She's with Selena Incorporated, the lady from the singer.
Okay, but where did she go?
Do you know if she ran out? Which way she ran and what is she wearing?
Yeah, we've already got the police and the ambulance en route over there, but if somebody can give me some information, we can catch her.
She can't tell me nothing. The lady that shot's laying here on the floor.
Okay, where did she get shot at? What part of her body?
Part of the body that she... that's Teresa on the phone.
Yeah.
What part of the body did she get shot at? In her back.
In the back. Okay, if y'all come across any information about suspect, you call me right back, okay? Yes. All right, bye-bye.
Those 911 calls, they just, knowing the story, I formed a visual in my head of poor Selena trying to get to some safety in that lobby and get help. She was bleeding. And she just, over someone who gravely betrayed her and took her life. To have this person 30 years later, next year, in 2025, hope that she gets the opportunity to have parole and to rejoin society is just a joke. I believe her entire family and many, many, many others will be, obviously, at that parole board hearing. And most likely, the likeliness of her getting parole is probably slim. But we need to ensure that Selena's story, the legacy that she has put out there, obviously her music continues all over. I hear her music when I've heard her music in the car on local radio stations. I've heard her music in stores. Again, she was just amazing. A voice like no other. And her future was her life barely began. And Yolanda took her future from her and took her away from her family. She had told her husband not long before, Chris Perez, she wanted to have children. Because obviously in her family, they go big. Lots of babies, lots of kids. So that day, when Yolanda took her life, It was quite huge. It was the day, they call it the day that Tejano music died.
Good evening, I'm Denise Valdez.
I'm Jeff Brady. Here's what's happening tonight. A woman who was nearest and dearest to Tejano singer Selena has been charged with killing her and is being held on a $100,000 bond.
34-year-old Yolanda Saldivar was arrested late yesterday after a 9-hour standoff with police. Crowds cheered as Selena's alleged killer gave herself up to authorities. She's accused of shooting Selena once in the back with a .38 caliber revolver. Saldivar was one of Selena's closest and most trusted friends. She was president of Selena's fan club, a former nurse. Saldivar went to work for Selena a couple of years ago, supervising her 3 clothing and beauty boutiques. But recently, Saldivar had been accused of embezzling money from the Tejano singer. That's why the singer met with Saldivar at a Corpus Christi hotel on Friday. But there are still dozens of unanswered questions tonight. The first one being, how could someone so close to Selena allegedly kill her?
Tonight, another of Selena's employees speaks out about that relationship between the superstar and her assailant. Ironically, she says Selena trusted no one more than the woman who allegedly used a bullet to silence the Tejano singer forever. Marlo Martinez knew Selena as more than a boss. As a nail technician at the Broadway boutique, she befriended the pop star, but always understood Yolanda Saldivar was Selena's #1 employee.
That was her best friend. She made it clear to us that was her best friend. That was her eyes. That was her ears. When she couldn't be there, we were to contact Yolanda.
And Saldivar, says Martinez, completely idolized Selena.
She was a fanatic. She has a, collection like you wouldn't believe of Selena. She collected everything of Selena.
Not only did she, instead of stabbed Selena in the back, she shot her in the back. Again, a horrific betrayal from someone that Selena trusted so dearly. Unfortunately, Yolanda, I believe she has a lot of problems. She had a lot of mental issues. Again, the shrine to Selena in her home, that should have had red flags, alarm bells going off all over. I'm sure that Selena shrugged it off as, oh, she's my best friend. She loves me. It's like posting photos and things of your family, accomplishments. But unfortunately and sadly, Yolanda didn't just love Selena in life. She loved her enough that if she no longer trusted her, she wanted her gone.
But in just the last few weeks, that relationship evidently began falling apart. All the women working under Saldivar and her manager at the boutique complained about a lack of supplies, suggesting to Selena the money was going elsewhere.
When she was hearing from all the girls, it was all the same story, everything. And Yolanda still, at that point, said, no, it's not like that, Selena. And Selena said, what do you mean it's like that? And she said a Spanish word, escúchame.
Which means, listen to me. That evidently was the beginning of the end. Selena's final meeting with Saldivar on Friday was supposedly an attempt to make peace, but peace never came. Jeff Brady, KSAT 12 News.
She never forgot where she came from. Selena was an artist del pueblo, of the masses, la gente pobre.
If only the tape in Abraham Quintanilla's hands could mend their hearts, torn apart apparently at the hands of Yolanda Saldivar. Selena's father says they had confronted her recently about the theft of thousands of dollars from his daughter's fan club and chain of clothing boutiques.
She sat there cool as a cucumber. No emotion, never tried to deny anything, this and that.
But Quintanilla says they never suspected she'd do anything violent. He says Selena and her husband had gone to the Days Inn Thursday night because Saldivar was turning over some financial records. But Friday morning, Selena made the fatal mistake of returning there by herself to pick up missing bank statements.
I think she lured her over there. She already had plans.
I agree completely with Abraham. Yolanda lured her there, alone. She went the evening before, with her husband Chris. Yolanda wanted her there alone, and all of her claims that I was going to shoot myself and it accidentally went off, all this garbage that she's thrown out since 1995 is just that. It's garbage. She knew the gig was up. She was found out. She stole from not only the family, but she stole from Selena's fans. And her fans were everything to her after her family. And Yolanda knew as soon as those documents were received, then proceedings would happen, that Selena would no longer be in her life. She couldn't have that. So she took her life. That's exactly what Yolanda did. Yolanda Saldivar deserves to spend every last waking moment of the rest of her life behind bars. She has even been in isolation because there are multiple threats throughout the years against her life. Selena was loved, and Yolanda has definitely become one of the most hated criminals of all time.
How you doing, Houston, Texas?
At the young age of 23, Selena Quintanilla was not only a Tejano music star, but also an industry within herself. The crown jewel in that industry was, of course, her music. She was known in the U.S. Tejano music business, mostly in states along the border. She was possibly an even bigger star in Mexico and Central and South America. But she was in the process of getting bigger.
Selena was the equivalent to, I'd say, like a Madonna for the Hispanics community in many states. And I tell you, she was headed to become even a superstar. I mean, a gigantic star. Apparently, she had an English CD coming out that was in the can, already recorded, that Capital EMI was getting ready to release.
In other areas, she had branched out to include this clothing boutique in Corpus Christi. It's one of 2 stores that she owns. Her trademark high boots and bustiers were marketed through the stores to fans anxious to imitate the star. By Friday night, though, the stores were closed.
She really inspired my life. I mean, someone like her would come and sing for us.
But one industry she prided herself most on were the trips she made to schools to encourage kids to stay in and get their diplomas. And close behind, her urging for those same kids to stay off of drugs.
I don't think you need to know Spanish to appreciate the music, the talent of Selena Quintanilla Perez. She was working on her crossover album, which a number of the songs have been released, and it's like over 25 years old now, I believe. Dreaming of You is definitely one of her largest from that crossover album. But again, a musical genius, great talent, taken from this world far too soon because of a monster. And that monster's name is Yolanda Saldivar. If you guys would like me to continue to discuss this one, I would love to go further into this case. Again, I've been very interested in Selena's life and her music. I mean, yes, a lot of her Spanish music. I really do love it. It's great for working out, I can tell you that. So if you want to hear more about what happened between Selena and Yolanda, let me know in the comments, and I'll do another video soon. I'll definitely do one as we get closer to the parole hearing in March. But until then, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day and a great new year. And most of all, stay safe.